Passage 1. So this passage was about Machiavelli and his ideologies. It talked about his political ideology, which was put in his book, The Prince. And his main point there was that a leader should focus more on his talents and abilities to achieve his goals rather than his morals. Right? So this is something that is written here as well, that a leader, he talked about something called virtue. Right, this spelling VIRTU. He talked about something called virtue, the talent and ability of a prince to achieve his goals, and gave it more importance than his morals. According to the passage, all of the following are true about the prince except that. So, what is not true? A. The book The Prince ran contrary to the prevailing sentiments of the times. This is something that is true as per the passage. Why? Because see, it has been shown to us that when the book was written, see, it is especially exciting to read the works of Machiavelli now, the prince, in particular, considering the historical backdrop of his creations. At the time of his prolific writing, the humanist movement had taken hold of Italy's cultural and philosophical traditions. So it was the time of humanist movement. Moral and worldly virtues stood tall next to the religious, and given their infancy within the realm of societal customs, these moral and worldly virtues sparked a huge following amongst the mass interest. Right? On the other hand, on the other hand, what Machiavelli says is that the leader, that the ability, the capability of the leader is more important than his morals. Whereas humanist movement was a time when moral and worldly virtues were actually gaining mass interest. So we can infer that this book of his, which talked about the talent and ability over morals, was against the sentiments of his prevailing times. Right? All right. So going to question 4, eliminated. The book has a clear and unambiguous meaning on politics and statecraft. Okay, we will check this. Then had the book been published when Machiavelli was alive, it is likely that he would have been in political exile. This is stated in the RC passage. We'll check this. I'll verify this for you. The book emphasized on the interests of the state rather than on individuals. Again stated. B is the answer here. Let's see why. So, if I go towards the end, I remember reading that the good thing about the book is, yes, what was most striking to find while reading The Prince is that the work can take different meanings depending on the lens through which the readers view it. That means it does not have a clear and unambiguous meaning, right? It can take different meanings depending on the lens through which the readers view it. So, right at this stage, I know that B is something that is untrue, right? Then, had Machiavelli been alive? Yes, this is stated that had he been alive, here, had Machiavelli been alive when this book was published, would likely have been, it would have been likely for him to have faced even further political exile than what he had already endured. Right? So this is given to us. Okay. And what was the last option? The last option is also given in the passage. Just a second. Yes, the book emphasized on the interest of the state. Yes, Machiavelli wrote to the interest of the state rather than the people. Even this is given to us. See this when we talk about his ideology. No, in The Prince he takes great care to cater his writing to the interest of the state rather than the private citizen. Right, so he wrote to the interest of the state rather than the private citizen. All right, so B is clearly false, C and D are clearly true, so we know that our answer has to be option B here. Right, so all in all, easy question and an easy passage, right?